Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, glory, forever and ever. Somebody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Somebody say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Give up my and clap praise. Because the lady told me that if I had an issue that they could, but just tell them that, no, calmly.
Welcome to the High Sabbath Day of Atonement. This is the High Sabbath Day of Atonement. Somebody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Give Almighty your hand clap praise. We are here by divine appointment. I am Apostle Malachi P.L. Reynolds, and I want to thank all of you who have taken time out of your schedules to come out here in Fort Worth, Texas, out of your reverence for the Most High, to keep this High Sabbath, or this High Shabbat, which is known in the Bible as the Day of Atonement. So I want to personally thank you for taking time out of your reverence for the Most High to come and keep this Most High and holy day that the Most High has appointed unto us to keep. And we are here to discuss what the Day of Atonement is all about and why it's important for us to keep it. Because, listen, as my Israelite now family in Cincinnati was saying, that there is one point of the Day of Atonement that has already been fulfilled. But then there is another part of the Day of Atonement which has not been fulfilled. All of the appointed days or high Sabbaths in Leviticus the 23rd chapter, all those appointed high Sabbath days, they all point to the coming kingdom of YAH'S or Yahusha, or in the world called Christ. They all point to a future time to come. Okay? So it's not just a bunch of rituals. The Day of Atonement is all about pointing and referencing to something that is to come. And this is why we should still keep the Day of Atonement, because it's referencing something that is to come. Okay? We're not going to prolong the time, but we're going to go to Leviticus the 23rd chapter. Leviticus the 23rd chapter. And I have some sheets that I had printed out for everybody. Okay, here's yours. Chanel, come here. Pass it out, put it in the back. Okay. Now, the scriptures that we're going to be going to, they are all listed here on this printout. All the scriptures. So, let's turn our attention to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And Brother Larry, I want you to read from the 26th through the 32nd verse. Now listen, we are a bilingual ministry. That means we speak we say the name of the Most High in Hebrew, but we also speak English, because that's the language to be able to speak in a language where our people can understand the scriptures. This is why we speak, because none of us learn the truth in Hebrew. None of us learn the truth in Hebrew, okay? But what I'm saying is that this is why we don't all the time say the name in Hebrew. Sometimes we'll call YAH'S Christ, so that you can understand who we're talking about, okay? Because none of us learn the truth in Hebrew, okay? Now we're going to go to Leviticus 23rd chapter. I want you to read from the 23rd verse to the 25th verse. Leviticus 23rd chapter.
And read loud.
Forgive me if I'm trying to get my wording correct. One second. Okay, that's going to be chapter 23, verse 26. The Most High said to Moses, the 10th day of this 7th month of the Day of Atonement, hold a secret assembly and deny yourselves, and present an offering made to the Most High by fire. Do not work on that day, because it is the Day of Atonement, when atonement is made for you before the Most High, your God. Anyone who does not deny himself on that day must be cut off from his people. I will also destroy among his people anyone who does any work on that day. You shall not work at all. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come whenever you live. It is the Sabbath of the rest. It is the Sabbath of the rest for you, and you must deny yourselves. In the evening of the 9th day of the month until the following evening, you are to observe your Sabbath.
Can you get my bag over there, brother? My gray bag? Yes. So we see in Leviticus 23rd chapter, as you can find on your papers, the 26th verse through the 22nd verse, we see that we are commanded by the Most High to keep this, what the Bible calls an appointed day. This is a high Sabbath, which is different from the weekly Sabbath, and we are commanded on this high Sabbath day to do pretty much what we are commanded not to do on the weekly Sabbath day, which is we are commanded on the weekly Sabbath day not to do any servile work. Well, on this Day of Atonement high day, we are commanded not to do any servile work. We are also commanded on this high Day of Atonement to afflict our souls, which many interpret as fasting, and some interpret as humbling yourself. Okay? So the Day of Atonement is one of the high Sabbaths. You understand that difference from the weekly Sabbath? You understand? Now we want to go from Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, to the 16th chapter of Leviticus. The 16th chapter of Leviticus. Let us turn our attention to the 16th chapter of Leviticus. And I want you to start it from the top, brother. It's in the same book as Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. It's just the 16th chapter. Okay. Leviticus, the 16th chapter. Start from the top, the first verse.
Okay, that's going to be 16 chapter, first verse. The Most High spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron who died when they approached the Lord, the Most High. The Most High said to Moses, tell your brother Aaron not to come whenever he chooses into the most holy place behind the curtain in front of the atonement cover on the ark, or else he will die, because I will appear in a cloud over the atonement cover.
Yes.
This is how Aaron is to enter the sanctuary area with a young bull for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He is to put on the sacred linen tunic with linen undergarments next to his body. He is to tie the linen sash around him and put on the linen turban. These are sacred garments, so he must bathe himself with water before he puts them on. From the Israelite community, he is to take 2 male goats for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering.
Now, what we're doing is we're finding out how they kept the Day of Atonement back then when it was instituted during the days of Moses and Aaron the high priest. He was commanded to get 2 kids of the goats for a what? Sin offering, okay? And 1 ram for a burnt offering. Pick it up in the 6th verse and read on.
Okay, Aaron is to offer the bull for his own sin offering to make atonement for himself and his household.
Now, first of all, Aaron the high priest, the brother of Moses, was to make an offering for himself and his sin. First of all, okay? Read on.
Then he is to take 2 goats and present them before the Most High at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He is to cast lots for the 2 goats, one lot for the Most High and the other for the scapegoat. Aaron shall bring the goat whose lot falls to the Most High and sacrifice it for the sin offering. But the goat chosen by lot as the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Most High to be used for marking atonement and sending it into the desert of scapegoat.
Yes, so the 10th verse, he said, but the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Most High to make an atonement with him and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. Okay? And we can back it up to the 9th verse. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the Most High lot fell and offer him for a sin offering. Remember how many goats Aaron was commanded to get? 2. And he was to cast a lot. In the 8th verse, Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats. 1 lot for the Most High and the other lot for the scapegoat. Okay? Aaron was making an offering on the Day of Atonement, first of all, for himself and his household, and secondly, for the congregation of Israel. Okay? Pick it up in the 11th verse and read.
Okay, Aaron shall bring the bull for his own sin offering to make atonement for himself and his household, and he is to slaughter the bull for his own sin offering. He is to take a censer full of burning coals from the altar before the Most High, and 2 handfuls of finely ground fragrant incense, and take them behind the curtain. He is to put the incense on the fire before the Most High, and the smoke of the incense will conceal the cover above the testimony, so that he will not die. He is to take some of the bull's blood and with his finger sprinkle it on the front of the atonement cover. Then he shall sprinkle some of it with his finger 7 times before the atonement cover. He shall then slaughter the goat for the sin offering for the people and take its blood behind the curtain and do with it as he did with the bull's blood. He shall sprinkle it on the atonement cover and in front of it. In this way he will make atonement for the most holy place because of the uncleanness of the rebellion of the Israelites. Wherever their sins have been, he is to do the same for the tent of meeting, which is among them in the midst of the uncleanness.
So we understand in the 16th verse that all this sacrifice that Aaron the high priest was making was for, according to the 16th verse in Leviticus, the 16th chapter, was for the uncleanness of our forefathers and because of their transgressions in all their sins. So he was, in other words, this is what he was doing. He was making an atonement for the sins for himself, first for himself, and then secondly for the congregation which he was to minister to. Remember, the tribe of Levi, they was the tribe that was chosen above the other tribes to minister to the other 11 tribes. Okay? So, in order for the high priest to make an effective atonement for the congregation, for everybody else, he had to first apply the blood for his own atonement. You understand? And then he could make the sacrifice and apply the blood for the atonement of the congregation of Israel. Okay? So, all this was done by getting 2 kid goats and a bullock. Okay, we're in the 16th chapter of Leviticus. The 16th chapter of Leviticus. Okay? And I believe you stopped off on the
17th.
No, the 19th verse. Okay. Yes.
Okay, known as to be in the tent of meeting from the time Aaron goes in to make atonement in the most holy place until he comes out, having made atonement for himself, his household, and his whole community of Israel. Then he shall come out to the altar that is before the Most High and make atonement for it. He shall take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood and put it on the horns of the altar. He shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger sometimes to cleanse it and to consecrate it from the uncleanness of the Israelites.
Okay. Now, I'm going to read just something briefly from the Zidarian Pictorial Bible Dictionary. The Zidarian Pictorial Bible Dictionary. I'm just going to read something briefly because we see
that Aaron the high priest, that he is making a sacrifice for his sins and for the sins of our forefathers, the congregation as a whole, okay? But listen, there's a message in this right here though. You understand, before you can check somebody else or correct somebody else on their sins, you need to first check yourself. Before you can minister to somebody else about their sins, you need to first check yourself. That's why before the high priest could make an offer of sacrifice for the sins of the congregation, he had to first make a sacrifice for himself and his household. Y'all see that? You understand? Now, from the Zahirian dictionary, the Day of Atonement, the annual Day of Atonement when the high priest offered sacrifices for the sins of the nation. Leviticus 23, 27, and 25, and 9. It was the only, it was required by the Mosaic Law, instituted in recognition of man's inability to offer full atonement for his sins. The Day of Atonement, in other words, according to the Zahirian Pictorial Dictionary, was instituted in recognition of man's inability to offer full atonement for his sins. Okay? I just wanted to read that briefly. Now we're going to pick back up in Leviticus the 16th chapter. I believe you stop on the 20th verse.
Okay, the 20th verse. When Aaron has finished making atonement for the most holy place, the tent of meeting and the altar shall bring forward the live goat. He is to lay both hands on his head of the live goat and confess over it all the wickedness and rebellion of the Israelites, all their sins, and put them on the goat's head. He shall send the goat away into the desert in the care of a man appointed for the task. The goat will carry on himself all their sins to the solitary place, and the man shall release it in the desert.
So this goat, Aaron the high priest, was to place both his hands upon the head of the live goat. Okay? And to confess over him all the iniquities of the children of YAH'S, the children of Israel, and all their transgressions, and in all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and to send the goat away. And the 22nd verse, and the goat shall bear upon him all the iniquities unto a land not inhabited. And he shall let the goat go into the wilderness. You understand? Read on, brother, the 24th verse, I think.
23rd. Then Aaron is to go into the tent of meeting and take off the linen garments and put on before he entered the most holy place, and he is to leave them there. He shall bathe himself with water in the holy place and put on his garments. Then he shall come out of the sacrifice, the burnt offering for himself and the burnt offering for the people, to make atonement for himself and for the people. He shall also burn the fat of the sin offering on the altar. The man who releases the goat as a scapegoat must wash his hands, must wash his clothes, and bathe himself with water. Afterwards he may come into the camp. The bull and the goat for the sin offerings whose blood was brought into the most holy place to make atonement must be taken outside the camp, their hides fleshly, and no fowl are to be burned up. The man who burns them must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. Afterward he may come into the camp. This is to be a last ordinance for you on the 10th day of the 7th month. You must deny yourselves and not do any work, whether native born or alien living among you, because on this day atonement will be made for you to cleanse you. Then before the Most High you will be clean from all your sins.
So we see that this was to be a statute for generations to come. You understand? This was to be a statute for generations to come, and that not just Israelites are supposed to keep it, but it says the stranger that is among you, or that's sojourning among you, the stranger that is sojourning among you is one who has embraced the law and the Elohim of our forefathers. So even foreigners that has embraced the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you understand, are supposed to keep this day. For it says, whether it be of one of your own country or a stranger that's sojourning among you. You understand? And the 30th verse, for on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you to cleanse you, that you may be clean from all your sins before the Most High. And as I said before, this is a high Shabbat day. We're not supposed to do any servile work. You understand? And we're supposed to afflict our souls, which some consider to be fasting, and some consider to be humbling their souls, or humbling themselves. You understand? Read on the 32nd verse.
And make atonement for the most holy place, for the tent of meeting and the altar, and for the priests and all the people of the community. This is to be the lasting ordinance for you. Atonement is to be made once a year for all sins of the Israelites. And it was done as the Most High commanded Moses.
Okay, now we're going to go from there to Hebrews, the 9th chapter. Hebrews, the 9th chapter.
Let's go to Hebrews, the 9th chapter. I want you to know that when they was making all these sacrifices and doing all these rituals with these goats and sacrifices with these domesticated animals, you understand? I want you to know that all that was pointing to something. All that was pointing to something. Okay? You know, just like I said, this is to be a statute forever, but I don't like the King James Version when it says forever. Because you're not supposed to be sacrificing no goats forever.
Y'all see that?
But they were supposed to do that to a certain point. And that's probably one of the points in the King James Version where it wasn't accurately translated. You understand? You know, yes, we keep the Day of Atonement, but we keep the Day of Atonement, you understand, until all things have been fulfilled. You understand? Like YAH'S said through the word called Christ, what did he say? He said that not one thing shall fail from the law until all things be what? Fulfilled. This is what a lot of our Torah only cats out there, our Torah only brothers and sisters don't understand out there. You understand? That Torah really is a projection of something that is to come. Torah is a book of prophecies.
Leading up to it.
That's right. I like that, Elder Darrell. It's something that's leading up to something. You understand? You know, in YAH'S in the world called Christ, he said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall stand. But he also said that not one thing shall fail from the law or from the Torah until all things be fulfilled. But once it's been fulfilled, then what? We don't have to carry out that ritual. That's why we don't have to go out here and get no goats and all that type of stuff. Because that part has been fulfilled. You understand? Now, we're going to get a better understanding from Hebrews, the 9th chapter, Hebrews, the 9th verse, the 6th through the 28th verse. Let me get our elder and pastor Timothy to read Hebrews, the 9th chapter, the 6th through the 28th verse.
thus ordained, the priest went also always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Yahuwah. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the error of the people.
Now we read that, right? We read about that in Leviticus 16th chapter, that the high priest first had to offer blood for his own self and for his household before he can do it for the congregation. Read on.
The Ruach this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while at the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was the figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices, that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience.
So what is he saying? All that they was doing, you understand, was a figure for the time, for that which was to come. So when they were offering that sacrifice of those domesticated animals, all that was symbolic, or it was signifying something or someone that was to come, that was to be the true sacrifice, that was to take away the sins and to make perfect, you understand? To make us perfect, you understand, from the conscience of sin. So it was foretelling something, and it was projecting something. In other words, it was prophesying something. You understand? You know, we have to be careful, you understand, not to get caught up in following the letter of the law, you understand, while we miss the spiritual intent of the law. We got to be careful, because we can end up being just like some of our forefathers who was so glued to pushing the letter of the law that they was missing the whole spiritual intent of Torah. Read on, brother.
Which stood only in meats and drinks, in divers washings, and carnal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
Until the time of Reformation. Until the time of the perfect sacrifice, which was to come. Somebody help me on this one. I didn't put this in the notes. Let's go quickly to the Gospel. I think it's in the Gospel of John. Then we'll come back to Hebrews, the 9th chapter. Let's go quickly to the Gospel of John. So all that sacrifice, animal sacrifice, that Aaron, the high priest, was commanded to do, you understand, was to be done unto a specific time concerning the animal. That was to be done until a specific time. Meaning it was not to be done, it was not to be a statute forever in sacrificing goats. Y'all see what the King James Version did do us justice? You know what I'm saying? You know? Because I know we got some Israelites that's pushing that King James Version like it's a perfect, writ, holy writ. You understand? And I can care less if King James was black or melanated. I can care less. Because whether he was melanated or not, that doesn't determine if we, the so-called black man and the so-called black woman, if we are Israelites. The prophecies in Deuteronomy 28th chapter determines that we are the Israelites. You understand? Now, I'm not saying that he was that really doesn't determine. You know what I'm saying? But in the Gospel of John, the first chapter, John, the cousin of Yahusha, whom the world called Christ, was baptized. He was baptized. And the 29th verse, read 29th verse.
The next day John seeth Yahushua coming unto him, and said, Behold, the Lamb of Yahuwah, which taketh away the sins of the world.
Which means the sin of the world of the Israelites, okay? Because the world is the society you live in. The earth is the planet you live on, okay? So, John the Baptist, he saw Yahusha, whom the world called Christ, coming on the scene, and he announced to him, Behold, the Lamb of YAH'S, who taketh away the sin of the world of the Israelites. Did you hear what he said? The true sacrifice. He was actually saying, this is the true sacrifice right here. So the time has come now, and we know that he was sacrificed on the cross for our, transgression. Just like that sacrificing of the goat was sacrificed for the transgression of the high priest and for the transgression of the congregation of Yashrael, for the congregation of Israel was sacrificed, you understand? Well, Yahusha, whom the world called Christ, he was sacrificed. He is the true sacrifice. And when he came, that part of the law was fulfilled. No more bulls and sheep and goats. So I wanted to just touch on that and bring that out. Now let's go back to Hebrews, the 9th chapter, and pick it off from where you stopped at, Elder.
But Yahushua being come, a high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Now you see, the Hebrew epistle is calling Yahusha, whom the world called Christ, calling him of a greater high priest than Aaron, the high priest, the brother of Moses. See, before Aaron can make a sacrifice for the sins of our forefathers, he had to make one for himself. Well, what makes the priesthood of Yahusha, whom the world called Christ, what makes his priesthood of greater significance than the priesthood of Aaron? What makes it? Somebody ask that. What makes it great? Because he didn't have to make a sacrifice for his own what? Sin. Because he was what? Born what? Sinless. Y'all see that? Aaron, the high priest, before he can make a sacrifice for the sins of our forefathers, you understand? He had to first make a sacrifice for his own sins, right? Right? So we see Yahusha, whom the world calls Christ, his priesthood was greater because he didn't have to make a sacrifice for his sins. He was born sinless. He was sinless. So therefore we are redeemed by a greater, more precious blood than the bloods of bulls, sheep, and goats. Because we are redeemed by about the perfect, precious blood of someone who was born sinless. Is it possible for the blood of bulls and rams and goats to take away your sin? When they did that in faith. They did that in faith, expecting that there was something greater that was actually atonement for their sins than the sacrifice of those bulls, rams, and goats. They did it in faith. They did it in faith. Faith, you know, I know it says in the Gospel of John for grace, no, favor, and for the law came by Moses, but favor and truth came by Yahusha. You understand? But listen, favor and faith existed in the Old Testament. This is what a lot of our misinformed Sunday churches get it confused. Faith didn't just come in the New Testament. Faith existed way back in the Old Testament. Read the Hall of Faith chapter in the Hebrews, the 11th chapter. You understand? By faith, Noah was moved to build an ark. You understand? By faith, Abraham offered up Isaac. So I'm saying this to say that by faith, they was sacrificing those bulls and rams and goats, you understand, to atone for the people's sin, not knowing that that was not the real thing. That was just a figure of something greater that was to come. And John the Baptist, he recognized it. He saw it. He perceived it. And he said, this is what we've been looking for. That's why he hollered out, behold the Lamb of Elohim, which cometh to take away the sins of the world, of the Israelites. That's powerful. I don't know about y'all. I know you may be fatigued, you understand? But we should get joy out of this. Somebody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Somebody hand clap praise. Timothy Jr. said this when he talked a few Shabbats ago. He said, now that you know you're a Hebrew Israelite, now what? See? Now that we have been redeemed by the precious blood of the perfect sacrifice of a greater high priest, now what? Now what? Read on, brother. Read on down to the 28th verse.
For if the blood of bulls and of goats and of ashes of a heifer sprinkleth the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Hamashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot of Elohim, purge your consciousness from dead works to serve the living Elohim. For this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption and transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of the eternal inheritance. For where the testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator. For the testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. For Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law. He took the blood of calves and of goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, "This is the blood of the testament which Elohim hath enjoined unto you." Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. And also all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission.
Let's get a precept from that in the law. Brother Larry, go to Leviticus 17:11. Leviticus 17:11, then we're going to come back to Hebrews. Go to Leviticus 17:11. Now, Elder Pastor Timothy has just read in the 22nd verse in Hebrews the 9th chapter, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no what?
Remission.
Remission, which means what? No forgiveness of what?
Sin.
Sins. Now let's get a precept from that. I mean, not a precept, but let's get a scripture from Leviticus 17:11.
Okay, 17:11 reads, "For the life of a creature is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for yourselves on the altar. It is also the blood that makes atonement for one's life. Therefore I say to the Israelites, none of you may eat blood, nor may an alien living among you eat blood."
So the blood on the altar is to be offered as a what?
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. An atonement. Now let's go back to Hebrews, the 9th chapter, pick it up from when you stopped off at Elder.
Verse 23. "It was therefore necessary for the pattern of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifice than these. For Hamashiach is not entered into the holy place made with hands, which are the figures of the truth."
The tabernacle that existed in the wilderness, you understand, that was not the true tabernacle. You understand? That was only a pattern was what already existed in heaven.
Hallelujah.
You understand? So when Hamashiach, when he entered into the tabernacle for our sins, you understand, that was in that heavenly tabernacle. You understand? Read on, Elder.
But into heaven itself.
You see that? Into heaven itself. The tabernacle that Moses was instructed by the Most High to build was actually a pattern of what was already existed, what already existed in heaven. Okay? That thy will be done in earth as it is in what? Heaven. Read on.
Now to appear in the presence of Elohim for us. Not yet that he should offer himself often as the high priest entered into the holy place every year with blood of others.
So the high priest, the Leviticus high priest, had to enter in every year for the sins of our forefathers. You understand? Mm-hmm. But not Yahusha of the greater high priest. We don't.
For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world.
In other words, Yahusha, the word called Christ, don't have to come and die for our sins every year. Y'all gotta have a little humor. You know what I'm saying? Well, all right, Most High, let me go down here and die for him. Every year. But no, we don't.
But now once, in the end of the world, hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. So Hamashiach was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
Hallelujah. He shall appear unto them that whose sins he died for, and who look for him. He shall appear the second time without sin unto salvation. Now let's go from there to Luke, the 22nd chapter. This is going to be the last chapter we read. But Hamashiach, whom the world called Christ, he offered up himself for the sins of many once and for all. Whereas the priesthood in the days of Moses, the Leviticus priesthood, the high priesthood, he had to do it every year. You understand? He had to do it every year to a point where it became a ritual. Somebody get there.
Hallelujah.
Woo! See, we'll tell y'all something. See, here's the danger of obtaining a lot of knowledge without wisdom. Because we have a lot of Hebrews running around here saying they got the knowledge, man. I got the knowledge, man. I got the knowledge. I got the knowledge. But you're still weak. Why is that? They got all these. I got a bunch of Bibles. I got the Paleo Hebrew. I got books. But you got a lot of knowledge, but no wisdom. Because, and listen, this is why elders, we have to be careful, even when we obtain a lot of knowledge, not to go around here thinking that we know it all, and not to be playing like we are Elohim because we have more knowledge than someone who don't. You understand? Because you can have, what did Paul say about having a lot of knowledge? Knowledge puffs up. The Day of Atonement is a day for us to humble ourselves. And I had to learn this myself, You so puffed up in knowledge that you can't reach nobody. You can't relate to nobody. And the Bible don't say get all the knowledge. No, the Bible says get all the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. What does the principal mean? The most important thing. The most important thing is not the knowledge. The most important thing is the wisdom. Because you can have see the world is, because of the internet, the world is filled with knowledge, but it lacks a filter. Because just because you have knowledge, it doesn't mean you have right knowledge. You hear me over there? It's speaking more knowledge that got Adam and Eve in trouble. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil. You see that? Oh, I got knowledge. But do you have wisdom? Do you have a filter? Because everything that's going on the internet, everything that somebody tells you, just like they said, when I came up, it was like, don't believe everything you see on television or everything you hear on television. Well, likewise, on the internet, don't believe everything you see and don't believe everything people post. Don't even believe everything you read in the book. Don't even believe everything you see in these different translations of the Bible. Because some translations are actually taking the meaning of the scriptures out of context. So that's why we have to have wisdom. You can fool a person with knowledge, but it's hard to fool a person with wisdom. So somebody said, I have a lot of knowledge, but do you have a filter? Well, what's that? You need a filter to determine We know what's right knowledge and what's wrong knowledge. And that's what wisdom come in at. Because wisdom gives you instruction and discretion on how to rightly divide the scriptures. So, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. You understand? Because in this awakening, people are looking at your lifestyle. They're looking at our lifestyle. And there's no greater witness that you can be than being a living epistle. You understand? When do we stop off at? Let's go to Luke, the 22nd chapter, 15 to the 20th verse.
Luke 22 and 15. And he said unto them, with desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer.
Now we know this is not Passover, but I just want to show you something about during the Passover, Yahushua, Hamashiach, whom the world called Christ, when he died on the cross, or on the stake, I'm not going to get in no debate about whether it was a cross or a stake. We know it was a piece of wood. Well, the scripture said it was a tree. Well, we know wood comes from a tree. You know what I'm saying? That's mine. You understand? The Israelites are still looking for something to debate. You understand? We know he died. And when he died for our sins, when his blood was spilled, that blood stood for him atoning for our transgressions, atoning for our iniquities. We don't know.
For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of Yahuwah. And he took the cup and gave thanks, and said, take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Elohim shall come. And he took the bread and gave thanks, and brake it, and gave it unto them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise, also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you.
Somebody said the blood.
The blood.
The blood which is shed for who?
You.
You and I. Y'all see that? That cup stood for the blood. And his body, when they had to offer up an animal for sacrifice, it had to be without what? Spots. Right? Well, Hamashiach was a perfect sacrifice to atone for our transgression. You understand? And he said, do this in remembrance of him. So now we don't keep the day of atonement. Here comes the conclusion, as we're about to conclude. Now we don't keep the day of atonement like our forefathers did. Now that part of Torah, that part of the law will what? Expire. We don't keep that part of the law where we have to offer up bulls, sheep, and goats without blemish, without spots. That part has expired. Do we keep the Day of Atonement today? Yes. But we do it in reverence of the perfect sacrifice, that is Hamashiach Yahushua, whom the world called Christ. So now when we keep the Day of Atonement, it's in reference to Hamashiach Yahushua, whom the world called Christ. Somebody say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on, hallelujah. Praise. for coming out to the Day of Atonement.